Namaste and welcome. Once again, our masterclass series brought to you live from Kanha Shantivanam. Today we have Swami Bharat Bhushan Ji Maharaj, who will be giving us wisdom through his speech. It isn't easy to describe people like him, and you'll know why when you find out that this young person, for he's young at heart and has inspired thousands of youth in India and all over the world to follow yoga in so many different ways. He's got an extraordinary life that is a tale to read. Swami Bharat Bhushan Ji began very young in the Himalayas practicing meditation and yoga, was sent back to the world by his gurus to leave behind his cherished ascetic lifestyle and begin a family. At 19, he founded his ashram and joined the army, got a Medal of Honor, became the youngest yoga master to ever receive the highest civilian award in India called the Padma Shri. And when challenged by the young people that yoga would not give him that ultimate fitness, Swamiji took it upon himself to become a bodybuilder. And he even won the Mr. India competition. You just got to look at these pictures and you'll know that anything is possible with yoga. Later on, settling down in Mokshayatan Yog Sansthan and training thousands of people every year tirelessly. Pujya Swamiji is a voice that cares, a voice that delivers. He is a prolific singer. He's been also, yes, a movie actor, and has that unique blend that you would find only in people who have found excellence in life through yoga. Let's listen to him and don't miss this one out. Namaste.
My pranams to yoga gurus, yoga masters, and my best wishes to yoga seekers, yoga aspirants. Yoga and unity are one and the same thing, because when unity leads to oneness, because when it is unity, it means 2, 3, 4, 5 or so many have their own identities and they intend to unite. Their united strength can do miracles, no doubt. Still, oneness is not there. When with regular practice of this unity, regular living with united and combined efforts, regular habit of living in realization of unity, then the position comes when we start feeling oneness. We miss even a single participant, like we miss even a single organ of our body, even a single. But when it comes to realization, this unity leading to oneness and the state of yoga, when state of yoga is experienced, then there is no duality in meditation. And even when we reach the state of samadhi, we blend into the ocean, we blend into divine, and there is the existence of me and the divine. That is Dvaita. But when my being is merged into divine, when my being is merged into whatsoever I want to acquire in life, that becomes Advaita. Only one exists. I am not a part of that oneness now, but I am that one. It is called merger or yoga. In worldly terms, when we speak of yoga for unity, people may have different queries, because when we are in different discourses, the questions are before us. But when in person you are not sitting in front of me, or I am not sitting in front of my master, then my master simply realizes what could be the possible question in the mind of my seeker. Same way, I can also think that those who are listening to this discourse, one-way discourse, they must have certainly developed some queries in their mind. All the time they hear about yoga, all the time they think, they try to apply the yogic way of living into their everyday life. All the time they have certain discussions together, and their own opinions about this science, this skill, this art of living, art of life rather, because living is confined only up to from birth to death, that is living. But the life cycle is beyond it. So I can't call it art of living, I'll call it art of life, because our existence continues to be, even when we are beyond this body and beyond this living. People will not be able to see us, they will not be able to have discussions with us, struggle with us, have difference of opinion with us. But that time also I'll be there, because I'll be a part of this life cycle, a bodiless being. So questions may be there. So as a person of yoga discipline, I have to think what could be the possible question in the mind of participants, in the mind of those yoga lovers who are coming across this discourse, this interaction, or rather say this expression of mine for my yoga family. They must be thinking why this project, this campaign, a long campaign by Heartfulness Organization, Mukshayatan Yog Sansthan, Patanjali Pitha, or because this is combined project. Different institutions, not only those that have their origin in India, but even those who have their origin abroad, or they want to enrich themselves towards perfection, towards their journey to perfection, having the nourishment from India, because India is the land of yoga science. Not only the land, but motherland of yoga science. You are a proud origin of India. You are the product of this Indian mitti, Indian clay. And the sanskars that you have got are the sanskar of Indian rishis, Indian rishi parampara. and the Indian system of living, their culture, their food, their everyday discipline, their philosophy, their faith, their different systems leading us to self-realization. So, our friends from abroad are not wrong if they expect on this very international day, rather say through this international day of yoga, they expect that we should have some authentic information or some behavioral aspect of yoga that we can apply into our own everyday life, so that a quality life is maintained. Today, in the crowd of these gadgets, these artificial instruments, these artificial sources of pleasure, I should say, I can't say joy, because pleasure is something that is confined up to our pancha karmendriya and pancha gyanendriyas only. So then it becomes a tool to joy, and that joy also becomes a tool to bliss. So if they are curious about this thing, and our organizations conducting this beautiful series of discourses or sessions, yoga sessions, special yoga sessions for those enthusiasts, they have a thirst to learn, they have a thirst to know, they have a thirst to enrich themselves in a far better way, to go for a far better length of yoga journey. They are not wrong, and for this purpose only this event is conducted, and this event is named as Yoga for Unity. It has its own declaration of the project and declaration of the theme of yoga. Theme of yoga is oneness, and when in 2014, yes, in 2014, when United Nations Organization, on the initiative of our Honorable Prime Minister, who is a yogi Prime Minister, I know him in person, I understand him very well, because he is a yogi. We can smell what he thinks, we can smell what he'll do and what he intends to do, not only for himself but utilizing his life for the betterment of this India and betterment of this world. So on his initiative, on an Indian yogis initiative, on India's initiative, because once the Prime Minister of India is there, so he is India, he represents me, he represents all. We may have different faith, we may have different ideas and difference of ideas, still our goal is same. So with that oneness, with that unity, India made him the Prime Minister, and he represented India in the United States or in UNO, United Nations Organization, with a proposal for betterment of entire world, for making a better world of tomorrow. And that proposal was to declare 21st of June as International Day of Yoga. And unity was the basic principle behind this approach, behind this proposal. And United Nations Organization itself represents the unity, because if we are not united, even with difference of opinion, even with difference in achieving the goal, the way that we intend to choose, but still this is United Nations organization. We are united, and to keep them united, to keep people of this world united, they have different faces, different languages, different dresses, different cultures, different way of living, different style of food, and what not. Even with those differences, we are one. This is the message of yoga. This is the message of United Nations organization, that we are the creation of one creator, and knowingly or unknowingly, we may not be knowing the mantras and sutras of Sanskrit, but we know that this is our global family. And concept of global family, because when we are a family, we can feel the pains and pleasures of each other. When we are one family, we may think, how can I be helpful in making my friend better and strong? How can we be helpful to each other in making a better world? The philosophy behind this is the united humanity, united nations. United humanity through United Nations will come so closer to each other that will make this world a beautiful world, a blissful world, a peaceful world, a calm world, a world filled with harmony and cheer. For this, we have not to simply understand and leave, give up. No. We have to start a move. How to start? From where to start? How to proceed? How to lead? And how to reach the destination, the destined goal of human rishis. They might have taken birth in India, but those rishis are of humanity. They are the asset of humanity. And the world they wanted to see, the blissful world they wanted to see, can be well attained through disciplined practice of yoga. When this first International Day of Yoga was introduced, I'm happy that I have been a part, very important part, of designing the common yoga protocol, because that time we had in our mind that this protocol is not only for Indians, but even for those who do not even know the ABC of yoga. So it was enriched in such a way, it was designed in such a way that each and every taste of yogic discipline could be enjoyed by them. Because our first aim is to have a disease-free body. Second aim is to have a joyful mind. Third aim is to learn living with harmony and with love. With that opinion, this particular capsule was designed. We reduced different countries through practice of yoga, through practice of that common yoga protocol, reduced their medical budget. That budget can better be utilized in other progressive programs. But now that's not all. The next requirement should come forward. People should have a question in their mind now. Okay, what now? We have practiced this common yoga protocol for 5-6 years now. Is that all? I'll say no. That's not all. That was only for this day that such query, such curiosity starts awakening in your mind. What next? And when you'll ask one next, what next? Then certainly our board will sit again. Our board of experts will sit again. Not only the experts, but yoga sadhaks, simple yoga sadhaks like me will sit again. And it will be the same way that when the child becomes 5 months old, then he will not depend on mother's milk only. He will need something else to grow. Then some semi-solid will be given to that baby to eat and to grow further. And after some more time, he will start taking food through his hand and mouth. He will be a baby with teeth. He can break, he can chew, he can digest more things. Same way, with every coming International Day of Yoga, we'll have the queries from across the globe for introducing new program, new schedule, not only to stay confined only up to body activities, but to go deeper, to touch our mind, to touch our systems, to touch our consciousness, and to touch the level where individual consciousness is enlightened up to that level, when it starts feeling the realization of universal consciousness. My best wishes to this campaign, and the campaign of Yoga for Unity will not be confined up to 1, 3 or 100 discourses, but it should be an unbreakable chain